NFL Week 10 updated game picks. This is our second of two videos in which we actually have a closer look at the lines, give you our recommended best bets, if any, look at some statistics. We're going to take a deep dive look at the Baltimore Cincinnati game, for example, and show you how we arrive to our conclusion. And we also post our picks on our website. Take a look at that. Our homepage, got at the top, we got our table of our recommended sides if we have one. And then let's go ahead and get to the games. Let's kick off the week with a Thursday night NFL game. We got the Bengals going to Baltimore in a rematch of that great divisional matchup for earlier this season. Back and forth, came down to overtime. We think the Bengals, Ravens, you got the running Ravens, you got the passing Bengals. So we're going to take a deep dive look at this one. We're going to look at the numbers and show you how originally Vegas will set the betting line, the numbers that they look at. We take a look at that as well, but then we combine that with a look at yardage statistics to kind of give us our best play, whether we're going to take a line or whether we're going to take a total. Let's start off here. We're looking at our website. We have the information spelled out there. First off, we're going to look at the basic numbers that Vegas uses to get the line. Scored allowed numbers. They don't look at records. Then they do a home adjustment, gives you a base forecast 30 to 23 for the Ravens. It's a 53 number. That's good. The totals number is 52.5. Line is 7. Pretty even. So that's what they use to get it. It's such a simple formula. It's kind of embarrassing. So we think there is a little bit of value on Baltimore -6. But let's see if that holds up. Look at the stats. We think the Bengals have a 4-point edge because the Ravens' pass defense is weak. So we're going to bump their number up to 27. Same thing with the Ravens. The Bengals can't really stop either the rush or the pass. We think the Ravens have a 5-point edge there based on that analysis. So that brings their number up as well, 35 to 27. So when we look at the 35 to 27 number, might adjust that up to 35-28 for a football realistic score. Line is 6. Slight value on the Ravens, not much, but the totals, look at that, 52.5. Our total number comes up to 62, 9.5 points of value. We think that's your best play. Do a half play on Baltimore -6 and a totals play. Other numbers we use to support this, if you look at the Baltimore splits, they're far better at home defensively and offensively. And the Bengals in the past two games gave up 24 to the Raiders and then 37 to the Eagles. We don't think they'll be able to stop the Ravens at all. Steelers at the Commanders. Really looking forward to this game. We recommend you don't bet it. These teams are so evenly matched. Could go either way. Just enjoy this one. It's a battle of offense versus defense. Do props to Jaden Daniels again. Unbelievable rookie season. Let's give Cliff Kingsbury some credit too. That offensive scheme that he's put out, very innovative and really has spread the field and has really worked this season for the Commanders. Then we have the Steelers. Really improved on offense as Russell Wilson has taken the quarterback job. So this game could go either way here. We think the Steelers are actually going to upset them here 28-24. And things don't get any easier for the team from South Florida. They've got to face the Rams in LA with Matthew Stafford, Cooper Kupp, and Puka Nacua. I don't think he should be suspended for a game after that quote-unquote punch in the Seattle game. He shouldn't probably have been kicked out for that. But we think the Rams are going to take this one 27-21. We're really curious about Mike McDaniel's coaching. We don't see the dynamic balance there with the running attack. We think it's really all about the athletes. Not good schemes there. We don't know if he'll last beyond this season, in our opinion. Anyway, for this one, we like the Rams 27-21. Falcons at the Saints. The biggest difference here is the Falcons are healthy, the Saints are not. That devastating injury the Saints suffered yesterday. Chris Olave looked like he was seriously hurt. Looked like he had a concussion, was discharged from the hospital. He should be okay, but very unlikely to play in this game, and that's their key receiving threat. And then if you watch the game yesterday like we did the Saints-Panthers, Derek Carr doesn't have that range of motion to throw the deep ball. That limits him. So he's probably about 75 to 80% of efficiency. So we're going to go with the healthy Falcons team here. Also, we look at the statistic this morning, that third best in the league, yards per attempt against the pass. Again, that's typically what the Saints like to do. That's a big benefit, big advantage for the Falcons in this one. We like them here 24-21 at New Orleans. Vikings at the Jaguars, and both these teams had awful first halves in their Week 9 game, and then great second halves. Jaguars almost pulled off a great upset, getting down 22-0 at Philadelphia. A team that's far better and more talented, and the Vikings had a little bit dud in their first half. They did not score a point and came back for a 21-13 victory. In this game, we think the Vikings have more offensive firepower. We love what they have with the receiver. I think Sam Darnold has resurrected his career here. We've never been that high on Trevor Lawrence. We think he's overrated. We think he's one of those guys. He's not a bust, but he's going to be a mid-tier quarterback. For this one, we like the Vikes 24-17 at Duval. And before we continue, if you would, just join our channel, and if you like this video or find it useful, like it and then subscribe. We provide weekly NFL picks, highlights, and sports travel. Thank you. Jets at the Cardinals, an interesting matchup here between one team who's definitely been underachieving, another team that's been overachieving, in our opinion. Not too many people thought the Cardinals would be in first place or close at this point in the season. But the Jets, we heard some comments earlier that the Jets are trash, they're terrible. No, but the Jets have been playing like trash. They've got the talent to at least be a wild card team. We think their upswing continues after their win over the Texans. We see them taking it here 24-17. We think this mini bye coming off a Thursday game, having 10 days off, going to really help them kind of rest up and get ready for the second half of the season. Patriots at the Bears, and a rematch of that famous Super Bowl with William the Refrigerator Perry and Mike Ditka. This is somewhat of a mismatch. I think the Bears, despite a couple of tight losses, have the offensive and defensive strength. Patriots struggling on offense. The defense is pretty good. In this game, we have to lean
The Bears. The Bears.
We like the Bears in this one, 24-14 over the Patriots at home in Soldier Field. Bills at the Colts. The Colts coming off that tough Sunday Night Football defeat at Minnesota, and the Bills off that dramatic victory, 61-yard field goal to handle the Dolphins at home. Looking at the Bills this season, we really think they're one of the top three teams in the AFC. We had the Texans there previously, but they're kind of struggling with their injuries and their weak offensive line play. The Colts, we expected more when they switched to Joe Flacco. Didn't really see it against the Vikings. Maybe he will bounce back. We think this game will be close. Ultimately, we're going to lean towards the Buffalo Bills in this one, 24-21 over the Colts. Broncos at the Chiefs, and the Broncos' chance to redeem themselves after a dismal performance at Baltimore. And typically they do against their AFC West rival. They tend to play the Chiefs fairly close, even in seasons when they have really bad teams. This year, with that defense being so improved, we think that's going to be able to slow down the Chiefs. But again, the Chiefs' defense is truly their strong suit. So we look at this one, we're going to lean under here. We don't know the totals numbers quite yet. 21-17 Chiefs. Take a look at that totals play and go for the under. And we think the Bolts will continue their charge for a wild card as they host the Titans. Titans with that win in overtime over the Patriots. And with a dramatic victory. They had the lead. They somehow let the Patriots come back and tie it. And the Chargers really, again, we talked about it. They had that one-sided win over the Browns. We think the Chargers are a threat for the wild card, not probably a threat for the AFC West. Chiefs pretty much have that locked up. We think the Chargers will continue to get better as they go. We think the Jim Harbaugh defense and that combination, that balanced offense. You got Dobbins, and then you've got Justin Herbert throwing it. We like him here at 21-14 over the Titans. And next up, we have the 49ers at the Bucs, and this could have been a really marquee matchup if both teams were fully healthy. 49ers still missing McCaffrey. Ayuk's out for the season. A couple other players on defense out. Buccaneers, of course, have two primary receiving threats. Mike Evans is out. Chris Godwin's gone for the season. This is one of those games. This is our upset play of the week. We just think this is one of those games that Baker just has an extraordinary game, surprises everybody. They win narrowly 24-21. And sticking with those Eagles, they travel to Arlington to face the Cowboys. Eagles now on a 3-game winning streak. Cowboys really struggling. That game against Atlanta, they didn't seem to have anything going on offensively. Totally appeared to be lost. A lot of people thought there was going to be a high-scoring over in that one. We didn't see it with the Cowboys offense, which brings us to the question that we're going to pose this as a text poll. Which NFL head coach is the most likely, most deserving to be fired at this point in the season? We think Mike McCarthy is at the top of that list. Cowboys fans, see what you think. Hit us up in the comments. Let us know your opinion. Is he the one to blame, or are the players to blame? It's easy to blame the coach. But in this case, we think McCarthy is struggling. We think also on the other side, the Eagles have made some questionable coaching calls too, going for 2 all the time. They should have just manhandled the Jaguars, somehow only beat them by 5. Yeah. A little bit of a grudge here with someone who bet on the Eagles. But we like them here, 28-17 over the Cowboys. Next up, we have another of the international games, this time Germany. Munich, Germany, going to host the Giants against the Panthers. And when we look at these two teams, what we see is defense, defense, defense. One of the better defensive units in the league with the Giants, and unfortunately Daniel Jones, that offense, have not been able to keep up. We think the defense is going to be enough here. We know Bryce Young won, and congratulations on that victory. We think going up against the Giants defense is a whole other matter. I think this is going to be a low-scoring, ugly game, 17-14 Giants. Next, we have our premier matchup of the week. The Lions travel to Houston to face the Texans on Sunday Night Football. And when we look at these two teams coming into the season, we thought this would be a very evenly matched kind of a game. But we look at the Lions, and there's a matchup in this game we really like. The Lions' defensive line and that pass rush they put on, and the Texans' struggling offensive line. C.J. Stroud has been under pressure all season. They need to really change the offense, kind of roll him out a little bit more. But as it stands, I think that's a big advantage for the Lions going into this game, putting pressure on C.J. Stroud, forcing errant throws. He's normally very accurate, but with all that pressure, we're not sure. So for this game, we really like the Lions, 24-17. Current early line that we saw this morning is Lions minus 2.5. I think that's a great line. It'll probably move up to 3.5. Get it now.
That's all for this week. Thanks for watching our video, and good luck with all of your plays this week. Once again, this is copyright Spirit Sports Consultants.